Good day everyone, Ferdy here. Welcome to Yogi Bad's Fitness 30-Day Yoga Challenge. So this is the 27th day of the practice and we're still doing inversions. But for today's practice, we'll be doing an arm balance. So this practice requires mobility on your shoulders, of course strength for you to do the pose. So we'll be stretching the shoulder muscles, the rotator cuff, your delts, and then the side body so that you can really have a better base or foundation. In that way, you can have more stable pose or structure. So to start the practice, let's go down on the floor and sit. So extend your arms forward and you hug your left elbow towards your shoulder. So as you do this one, you try to round the mid back a little bit by flexing your chest and visualize the shoulder blades moving apart. So breathe and feel the expansion of your back. Now you release and bring the left arm up, bend the elbow and hold. Hold it with your right and see if you can side bend to your right side. So allowing the side of your body stretching. As then lower the left hand on the floor, you can slide your hand further away from the hip. Then extend your left hand over the head and try to feel the hip, the lats or the entire left of the body stretching. You bring your body up, then extend your hands forward, hug the right arm towards your chest. Now extend your arm up, bend the elbow and hold it and pull yourself down to your left side. Again, just notice your breath. Incorporate a long and slow breath here. Now you set your left hand on the floor. You can move it away from the hip, then extend your right arm. Again, going lower as long as you're not lifting the left sitting bone. Now bring yourself up, then extend your hands again forward. Now cross your left arm over your right. So see if you can intertwine your forearms and squeeze the palms together. Lift your elbows shoulder height and then try to lengthen the spine. You inhale, then exhale, you hinge from the hip and try to touch the forearms down on the floor. So you press the forearms down, you lift the mid back. Again, feel the expansion of the back body. You can just drop your chin to your chest. And then you come up. So let go of your arms, then you just do the opposite side. You cross your right over the left. Then you lift your shoulders. On your exhale, you bend forward, taking the forearms down on the floor. Take a few deep breaths here. Now you lift. And as you exhale, release the arms. So walk your hands backward. So let me face the side. So walk your hands backward as far as you can, then push the floor, lift the chest up. Broadening your chest, pushing the floor and squeezing in your shoulders. Here you can just extend the throat up and stretch the neck, or you can move your chin to your chest. So your choice. Now you release and go to your all fours. Take your palms on the floor, underneath your shoulders and the knees underneath the hip. Now extend your right hand upward. So spin your body to your right for a twist and exhale, thread it underneath your chest going down towards the left side. Then extend the left hand over the head and keep turning your left chest up. So feeling the weight on your right shoulder. Now you take your left hand on the floor, bring your right hand up. As you push down through the left hand. On your exhale, lower your hand on the floor. Reach the left hand up, and exhale, move it towards the right, lower your shoulder and the hip down and slide your right hand forward. So again, keep creating space on your chest by turning it up. Pull the hip back to lengthen or to stretch the side body. Now right hand down and again on the floor, pull your left hand up and set it down on the floor. From here you walk your hands forward, moving to your puppy pose, moving your chest and head down to the floor. So this is the easier version of the pose. If you feel enough stretch on your side body, then stay. If in case you want to still intensify the pose, you take your palms together on a prayer pose and move your palms or point your fingers up and try to press or sink your chest down. So you have to feel the lats, the muscles below your armpit stretching. And if you feel any discomfort of the joints of your shoulders, then it means that you've gone too far, or this option is too much for your body. So you can just go back here, hands forward. So you have to really feel what's going on. So release and have your palms on the floor. Back to your own force. Look forward, tuck your toes, and step the right to the top and followed by the left. You can have your feet apart, toes together, or toes pointing forward, or you can have your feet together. Again, shifting the weight forward, feel the toes, the balls of your feet pressing down, then you exhale and fold. Now you can hold the opposite elbows and just move your body, sway your body side to side. And just to loosen out your whole upper body. Just feel relaxed on the upper part and just activate the legs. Now letting go of your hands, roll up vertebra by vertebra. Now bring the arms upward. Lace the fingers and push the palms up, pressing down through the balls of your feet. Broaden your chest and bend backward, pushing the heels of your palms away from the pelvis. Your hip is not pushing forward, you just have to extend. Point your seat bones down. And as you exhale, release. Hands down behind the hip. Lace your fingers, roll your shoulders outward, broaden your chest. You inhale, then exhale, you bend to your right and push the hands leftward and see if you can bring it away from the hip. Now look down, chin to your right shoulder. Again, just feel that easy flow of your breath, moving in through your nose and expanding your chest and belly. Going back to the center on the next inhale, then exhale, you go down to the left. Then chin to your left shoulder. Pushing the arms away from the hip. Now coming up, lift the chest. Then exhale, you fold forward. You can flex the hip, push the arms up. Letting go of the head, don't force it to go to your shins. Don't force anything. If it's too much, you just have to back off a little bit. Modify the pose. Now releasing the hands on the floor, look forward, flat back. Take your right foot to the back, followed by the left on a plank pose. Remember, you can modify by taking the knees down, so that's your choice. Bending the elbows and then pushing your chest up. So press the hip, your shins in the feet on the floor. Squeezing in your shoulders, extending through the crown of the head. Elbows are straight, arms are strong. Curl your toes and go to your down dog. So again, you can walk in place if you want to. Okay, just to loosen out your hip, your hamstrings, or you can move your hips side to side. If you feel tight in your neck, you just have to nod your head forward, backward, or move it to the left and to the right. So after a couple of breaths here, you step your right foot forward. Setting your left knee down on the floor, take your hands up on the knee, push the hip down and forward, and see that you're turning the left hip bone forward to square or balance the hip. Pushing your knee, lifting the chest. Then you can extend your arms up, bending the elbows, rolling the arm bones back and outward. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, exhale. Again, you can deepen the back bend as long as your lower back and neck are not feeling tight, painful. And then back to the center, straighten the spine and straighten your right leg. You cross your left arm over your right. Again, eagle arms. You level your elbows with your shoulders, keeping the spine straight. Now on your exhale, bend forward. If you have the stretch on your right leg already, then stay. If not, you can go all the way down until you reach the forearms on the floor. Again, that depends on the leg. Just don't round the back too much that you begin to feel discomfort on the body. And then coming up, lift the chest. Rebend your right leg. Release the arms over the head. From here, curl that back foot, lift the leg up, spin the foot down. You can take it a little closer. So warrior pose 1. So see that your right knee is pointing forward and just above the heel. Then swing your hands backward. Again, interlace the fingers. Let's inhale and extend the hands down. Broaden your chest, look up. On your exhale, bend forward. Pushing the arms up. So away from your hip. Continue going down as long as the hip stays in line with the feet. Now you will release, come up, and again extend your arms upward. Hands down to the floor now. Take your right leg backward next to your left and bending the elbows. Coming up, pushing the floor, lift the chest. And exhale, return to your down dog. So inhale and exhale, deep and slow, continuously. Now you take the left leg forward, set your right knee down on the floor. So pressing down through the top of your right foot, you take your hands upon the knee and then sink your hip. Broaden your chest. Then reach the arms up, bending the elbows. Then externally rotate your arm bones, moving your shoulder blades inward and try to arch the spine. Again, keep your breath long and slow. And then reach straight in the spine, cross your right arm over the left. Again, intertwine your forearms, squeeze the palms together, level your elbows and shoulders, then pull the hip backward. Inhale, straighten the back. On the exhale, hinge from the hip joint, moving your chest as low as you can. Stop when you feel enough stretch. Others can go lower until you reach the forearms on the floor. Now lifting your chest upright, bending that left leg, releasing the arms over the head. Curl your right foot and lift your knee up to your high lunge. You can take your right foot a little closer to your left. So balance the hip. Then swing your hands backward. Squeeze your shoulders, push the hands down. Look up, then bend. On your exhale, you fold forward, moving the hands down as low as you can. Or moving the head towards the floor, the hands up. Now lifting your chest upright, return to your warrior pose 2. Hands down on the floor, and then take the left leg back to your plank. Again, dropping down halfway, and then pushing your chest up. Again, straight arms, expand your chest. Then exhale, go to your down dog. So inhale, and exhale. Inhale and exhale. So lower the knees down. Then take your elbows on the floor. So you can have your forearms parallel, like number 11, or palms together. So we'll do scapula push-ups so that you will know how you should activate or work your shoulders. So you want your shoulder blades to really move outward. You're pressing the forearms as you stay on when you do the arm balance, the forearm stand. So you don't want your shoulders to be this way, collapsing your shoulder blades. Okay, that would weaken your base. It would put the weight on your tendons, on the ligaments. So you have to really activate your shoulders by pushing, resisting the downward motion of the body. So go into your dolphin plank. So here you have to keep your spine straight, keep your belly nice and tight. Now you lower your shoulders, your hip. So you have to feel the squeezing of your shoulder blades. So you don't want your shoulders to stay this way when you do the arm balance. You want it to be this way. You push. So you have to feel, and as you stay here, you have to take mental notes so that you know how you should place or you should engage your shoulders. Again, down and up. Squeeze your shoulders down and again up. So 2 more rounds, down and up. Last one, and push yourself up. So have your knees down on the floor, going down to your child pose, extending your arms forward, just rest here for a few breaths. So we'll do one more before we do the pose. So have your forearms again the same manner as you did with your scapula push-up. So palms together or light number 11, forearms light number 11. So that's your option. Now extend your legs backward to dolphin plank, then you move up to your dolphin. You can take your feet closer and really point your hip bone backward. Again, your shoulders, you're pushing the shoulders away from the floor. You're not collapsing your shoulders again this way. You have to really push. And then go forward to dolphin plank. And go back to dolphin. So really working your shoulders, waking up those muscles you need for you to support the pose. Forward inhale, backward exhale. Just do this one 5 to 10. So if you lack strength on your shoulders, and if you want to do this pose or if you want to do headstands, then you have to really do this one often. It will build the muscle memory and strength that you need. So again, rest, go to your child pose or just sit upright, give your shoulders or your whole body time to recover. So there are 2 ways to do the pose. We can do it on the wall or we can do it on the mat. So if this is your first time doing the pose, I would suggest you go to a wall or ask someone to help you lift your hip up and put it on the wall. So don't do this on your own if it's really your first time, especially if you're not sure if you have enough strength on your shoulders. And for others who are more advanced, you can try to do this on your own without any wall or anyone to help you out. So again, it depends on your personal capacity or your personal preference. So if it's your first time, then maybe the best thing to do this one is to ask someone to help you out. So let's do it on the wall. So again, to measure the distance, the same as your headstand, you have to hold your opposite elbows this way. And when you put your forearms down on the floor, there's a slight outward movement of the forearms. So you have to consciously move your forearms in or resist the movement of the arms, outward movement of the arms. In that way you prevent any tension or strain here on the shoulder joints. So the distance of your elbows on the wall, it's about approximately half a meter. You can go a little wider or farther than that or a little closer. Well, it depends to you. Or maybe you can have your elbows on the floor and the tips of your fingers are touching the wall. You can have that as well. So going down, so setting your base, palms on the floor, and then you go to your dolphin. Like a dolphin, you lift the hip and lift the right leg up. And you just have to bounce on the bottom leg and use the top leg to reach the wall. And for you to reach it easier, you have to bend the leg. So once you come up and touch the leg down, you bring the bottom leg up, and you extend the legs. So you can just stay here, continue pushing against the forearms. You don't want to collapse your shoulders. Keep resisting the downward motion of the body. And from here, you can remove one leg of the wall, and then really move it a little forward. So again, use forward momentum here so that you can lift the other leg away from the wall. So again, tone your belly, and try to be comfortable with your body. Well, I know it's hard to be comfortable here, but at least try by breathing in and breathing out. Try not to feel stiff. So to release, you can bend and drop the legs down. So remember, when you do a hard pose, you don't want your body to be super tight, super stiff. It cannot react automatically. So whenever you're doing the pose and your body moves out of the midline, and you're super stiff you're trying to keep the pose steady, then it cannot react automatically, it cannot respond naturally to the movement. And eventually you will lose your balance, you will fall. So better to be as relaxed as you can, try to compose yourself physically and mentally so that your body can really respond. And again, don't overthink, don't overanalyze the pose, how you should stay or how you should activate your whole body when you're on the pose. The brain knows how to command every muscle of the body, and without you telling the muscles, it will naturally react. Now let's try to do it on the mat. So again, if you're first timer, I don't suggest this one. Maybe you can ask someone to help you out. But if you're more advanced, maybe you can try it. So again, the same thing, the elbows, shoulder width. And when you jump the hip up, using the bottom leg, you use the fingers to control the weight of the hip so that you will not go too far forward. So when the hip goes forward, again, it's all about shifting weight forward. And when the hip shifts, when the weight of the hip moves forward, you have to press down through your fingertips to stop the forward momentum of the body and keep it at the center. And when you're about to go down this way, what you need to do is to push the hip upward. So it's just about controlling the forward and backward momentum of the hip to keep it at the center. When you're feeling you're about to fall towards the top, where your head is facing, then you have to pull your hip along with the pressing of the fingers. But if the hip when you feel the hip begins to fall backward, then you have to push the hip forward and try to drag your shoulders backward this way. You try to drag your shoulders this way as the hip goes forward. So again, it's about the forward hinging, forward backward hinging of your shoulders, this one, forward, backward, and combine that with the hip, hinging on the hip. So it's really hard to analyze it at first, but again, you just have to keep practicing it. Eventually the body will learn its way to balance this pose. You don't need to, again, overanalyze. Again, the key here is to practice, practice, practice. Eventually the body will learn its natural action, how to maintain this pose. So again, having your palms, your forearms down the floor, lifting one leg up, bounce on the bottom leg and lift the leg up. Then as you lift the legs again, you can move your shoulders backward and forward. It depends on the position of the hip. So if the hip goes forward, when you feel it heavy, press down through the tips of your fingers. And you don't need to really super activate or tighten everything on the midsection. Actually, I can relax my legs here. All I need to do is to be steady and strong on my forearms. So that was it. So I hope you learned a few tips on how to do this pose. Well, I know it's really hard if you're a first timer, especially if you lack strength on your shoulders, you lack that sense of balance. So it would help if you, before doing these poses, you do strengthening, shoulder strengthening like the one we did, the scapula push-up, the dolphin plank, and then do some balancing poses. Okay, doing balancing poses will improve your sense of balance so that when you do this one, the body can respond automatically so that you don't need to overthink, overanalyze how you should work, how you should stabilize the body. So before we end, go and lie down on your mat just to relax your body and your mind. So just lie down, hands on your sides. You close your eyes and again pay attention on your whole body. So if you feel any discomfort or tension, you just have to mentally relax those tension or those discomfort. So use your breath to relax the body. You breathe in and breathe out softly and slowly. So as you inhale, you can say mentally, I am. And as you exhale, say, relaxed. So again, inhale, I am, and exhale, relaxed. So doing that for a couple of times will help you relax your mind and body. You just stay still and take a rest. So you move your toes and your fingers, then extend your arms over the head. Give yourself one final stretch. So hug your knees to your chest, roll over to your side and slowly push yourself up. So thank you everyone for joining today's practice. So I hope you can make it through the end of this challenge. So I'll see you again next time. Namaste.